trucker right here just pulled me aside and was like, man, it's filling up the whole highway. Hey, what's going on, everybody on YouTube? EXO coming at you here, feeling great this morning. Just applied a fresh cologne, man, and I'm feeling like $1,000,000. Even when you're by yourself, just a nice little freshen up really brightens up the day. And speaking of brighten up the day with the good old bass van, these 1218s could use some illumination. I'm using my little Ryobi spotlight here, but man, I've already had these preliminary installs already finished with some LED strips in the corners, so I think it's high time to get some power supplies, some wires ran, and finally get our install nice and lit. Luckily, we've done all the pre-wiring necessary just to do plug and play. Right here is our data section, and right here is our power section. Everything is run independently so I can isolate it from the original circuit. So right now, we're gonna focus on these right here, all the things that are run into the cabin. Data, trigger, and power. I call it throw. And then as an intermediate switch, I have this little command center which chooses between all the cool settings like static LED or even music controlled LEDs. The Wi-Fi LEDs are ran off this SP108, and the larger unit up back is the music controller. It's a discontinued BV, but it just runs off a single headphone jack that I have plugged into my DSP up there. And then to get decent data signal with long distances throughout the vehicle, I have this SP901 booster. And that's where these 4 Ds come into play. Those are the outputs that can be designated to either section of the car. I can have the bass control the lights, the mids control the lights, or the highs, and of course, the Wi-Fi. Man, it's easy to forget just how big it actually is in here without that massive seat taking up all the room. We finally got some breathing space. Let's crack this beast open. Now, like I've mentioned before, this center console was just something to get me by. I wanted to get the bass pumping, wanted to get to a show. So this was the result, but in the end, I'm gonna have even more features like maybe some cup holders, some more indicator lights, but for the time being, this was more than enough to get me by. In fact, I couldn't build it out too far because if I plan on building a loading wall, that would be even worse than having a seat right here. So eventually it's gonna be a lot bigger, a lot more cool things going on, but this is just about perfect for right now. And besides, with the amount of space I did have to work with, I crammed in everything I could. It looks pretty dang sweet. And I think it looks even better on the inside. It's on hinges and the whole jaw opens like that. Pretty good looking if you ask me. All the wiring for each function is extremely well organized. Well, you know, at least in my book, I used a coding system 1 through 41 with a key guide programmed on my phone so I can remember each connection. But for today, luckily, we're only gonna have to worry about these 4 back here. The first 2 connections will be the power and ground for our power supplies. The third will be our data input from the area we just discussed. And the last connection will be our power switch for turning on and off. But since there's already like no room to work in here, I'm just gonna get these connections done. But check out this next clip. I convinced my wife to get in the hot seat, good old bass treatment right to the face. She didn't expect it to be that loud. It was so funny. Check out this awesome clip.
Hey, so baby, nothing to play with. Running up out in the bass, yeah.
Holy smokes!
What the?
I turned it up a little louder than when we were on the way here. Could you tell?
Yeah, just a little. Made my back itchy.
All right, got the beginning stages of the wiring plugged in, and all the excess is plumbed through neatly out here so I can go up into the corners with this 18 3-conductor wire. It's a little more convenient and not so much of an eyesore because I totally forgot to do it up toward the top, so we got some stragglers hanging low, but I'm not gonna let that get me down. But how about that bass demo, huh? Holy smokes. I wish I could convince Elise to get in here a little more often, but it is a hard sell. What you guys don't know is that days after all the fun and bass, her hair is just falling out in clumps because it gets knotted like crazy. So hats off to her for actually getting in here for you guys. Now we're gonna do some power supplies. 5 volts, 20 amps for our LED. We're gonna mount them just above those terminal strips we took care of. Got the wire carefully ran behind this weather seal. There was just enough room for it not to pinch anything, and the door shuts nicely. Now is the moment of truth. My heart's kind of beating a little bit because on just the other side of this wall is a beautifully finished specimen, and I'm just gonna go with my intuition. All I need is a simple port through hole to get those wires from the inside to the outside. And since it's kind of hard to see on the other side with the exoskeleton and what that represents, I'm gonna go right from here, go in the corner of where the steel meets the wood, and hopefully that'll be a good spot on the other side. Here we go. Moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. She's going in. Dude, check that out. It couldn't have worked out any better. The original plan was to have these wires kind of lay flat and do a little fishtail around the corner to kind of plumb through right there. Makes me feel a lot better about stepping up to the next size here, but this time I'm gonna go from the inside out so the hole on this side stays nice and clean. Got the data, power, and ground ran in and tightened up onto our terminal strips. Now I can already hear the people griping at what that looks like up in the corner, and I don't blame you. A little bit unconventional. Just some butyl rope to get the shape of the wire started with that memory, you know what I mean? I'll eventually go on to Amazon and try to buy something that'll make it look nice and neat, real tight into the corners. Hold on a minute. I just cleaned my workshop the other day, and I think I may have a candidate for the job. Why didn't I think of this sooner? Hold on a second, right here. Some Raceway, some cheapo specials. The only thing I don't really like is the color, so maybe I'll try this on the other side, but before we do that, I think I'm gonna paint it black real quick. Got the wires all cleaned up. It looks like I'm not the only one keeping this place nice and clean. Oh, good old Fleety. So let's go ahead and do a test run here. We're in the mid-14s, just on battery power. Let me make sure the LED switch is on. Yep, green light is go. Everything is good for a quick test. Hey, look who it is. It's LCP. Hey, what's going on? Perfect timing. You want to see my top 10 favorite new LEDs in the bass rig?
Okay. We've been talking about it long enough.
I know it's been a long time coming, but let's go ahead and start with the first string, and then we'll go through and do it like to the beat of the music at the end. So, all right, ready? 3, 2, 1, let there be light. Boom, nice and bright, white, nothing special, but it's nice. You can see the subs, right?
Yeah, lights everything up really nicely.
Yeah, finally, it was so dark. So that's static, nothing special, no animations. So now we'll go through my top 10 animations.
All right.
Here's number 1. Look, it's like almost like a tracer of different rainbow colors going to the back.
Everybody loves a good rainbow.
Yep, and then there's like 170 presets, so let's go to number 3. Wider band, a little bit faster, and solid colors going down.
That reminds me of like Times Square.
Number 5, climb on up.
Ooh.
Same thing, but rapid, almost like little pulses.
I thought of a train.
And now number 9. Oh yeah, I'm getting into more like smooth. Look at the cones on the subs right now. How it looks like they're almost moving with no movement.
Yeah, it looks like there's like a circle going around.
I like that a lot. And now we gotta go all the way up to 35. I think that's cool. Imagine if it were pitch black right now and it was bassing.
I know.
That would be really
You
cool.
can't really
looking.
get that effect.
I do like that though. And now 42. Oh, bedazzled, sparkle, anyone?
Yeah, I feel like I'm on Broadway or at like a
Live nudes. All right, now number 56. Neon
I like
trace.
that color.
You can see it's like solid, but yet there's green going through it.
Yeah, no, well, it reads aqua to me.
Perfect for nighttime. Now this is bright, but with mid yellows going
This is like
through.
rich, like ritzy.
Yeah, this is what you would see at a rich person's like front yard at Christmas. 72. Oh yeah, that's kind of scary. Imagine if the bass was going to that. Does that bring fear into your heart? And now we gotta go all the way up to 130. I like that. It keeps a good, cool tone on the subs, but you still get a design on the ceiling. I do want the camera to be able to consistently pick up movement, so if there's too many black spots, it's not gonna help. Those are all my top 10 animations going down the subwoofer box, looking pretty clean. Fleety was definitely a big help. He was like, helped me keep things nice and clean in here today.
He's very helpful in all ways.
And now we're gonna switch everything over to some music mode. Man, that looks really good from that angle. We got the DSP all turned up. We got the music about ready to play. All I have to do is go over to my switch box here, switch her down into the music matching bass mode. Remember, it goes with the bass, so whenever the bass kicks, the lights will go. It'll match with just the bass, not the mids.
Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Corrosion overcoming, I'm covered in rust. Years of my
See
life,
how it goes with the beat?
Yeah, that's
feel like a failure. It's all my
And depending on how the levels are, it'll go all the way up or halfway.
I'm covered in rust.
So right on that kick drum, it's like full bass, and then half bass, boom, boom, boom. See that?
Losing my mind, telling my friends
that really adds something to the experience. That's
Yeah, I like that a lot.
everything I said's a lie.
And it changes every so beat. See how it changes with the beat?
the color you mean?
Yeah.
Ruthless, screaming my head off until
yeah.
I'm
It'll do it again here.
goddamn new shit. Nothing ever changes.
Sweet, huh?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dang.
Nice stuff.
Anxiety rages, feelings
Here, we'll get some of this angle there.
knows my future is steadily fading. This world was supposed to be mine for the taking. Why do I feel
Yep.
like
Just
my
something
life is
simple,
breaking?
something very effective. A lot of planning went into that whole thing, P. I'm glad you're able to be the first one to see it.
Yeah, you're always going above and beyond.
Touchdown in the trenches. Texting my phone about bitches. She say my intuition. Thank God the windows tinted. The members in attendance. I'm like he cold Bennett. Now you trending famous.
This trucker right here just pulled me aside and was like, man, it's filling up the whole highway. I wish I got that on film the second I put it down because we were getting into traffic. Dang it.
No rewinds when I pull out that phone.
ho. Yeah. What's that one? Space Cowboy? Woohoo! Man, with all this newfound brightness, almost makes me want to turn it up again in the dark. What do you say, P? One more round for the Bassheads?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.